radio analyst for the Oakland Raiders, Lincoln Kennedy.
Oakland.
No, I think for us, like it's going to be the first time people see us do it together, right, in the NFL. But for us, we've been doing this for the last 13 years, whether it was in college or we still train together in the Bay Area. We've been doing it for months here at the facility, right? And so to us, it's back to normal, that feeling. But I think for everyone else, the excitement of it, like I'm sure I'll throw him the ball and he'll get a catch or whatever, and everyone will be like, oh my gosh, here we go. And it's like to us,
guys are hot.
We'll just be the next play, just because we know how much football there is to play and all that kind of stuff.
Carr and Adams, it's going to be a lot of fun watching them for the Las Vegas Raiders, not the Oakland Raiders. I thought the staff was going to fix that.
Well, you hand stuff off and then fumbled on that one. That's all right.
Someone's going to get fired. Lincoln Kennedy joins us. What's up, Lincoln? How you doing, buddy?
Guys, I will say this. Everyone needs preseason. So
very good. Very good. We didn't even
everyone needs preseason.
Good catch there, Link. Good catch there.
Yeah, that's why he's a pro. That's why he can do Pac-12, he could do Vegas, he could do it all. So kind of walk us through a week of yours during the football season, because it's amazing what you do that you can still find time to smoke a cigar.
Well, you got to make time.
Yeah.
You got to make time for the things that you like. So typically, Monday and Friday are travel days. Saturday and Sunday, or whenever the pro guys are playing, it can be Monday, Thursday, whatever. That's obviously a given. But Tuesday through Thursday, I'm at home. The boys are playing football, taking care of I also do the radio hits and stuff like that. And got a little Raider stuff, but that's from home. Everything else is on the road.
Lincoln, from that particular standpoint, when you think of this LA, Oakland, Las Vegas Raiders team.
Preseason, baby.
Hey, the Raiders,
take a lap. Go take a lap.
Here's the thing.
That's fine.
I played the Raiders in Oakland and LA, so I can go down that road. So what's that difference? What's the Josh McDaniels mantra at a training camp with the Raiders versus a John Gruden, some of the coaches in the past?
Well, I think that one of the things that definitely stood out was the discipline and the sort of self-policing that I saw out of this team. And what I mean by this is that, for a while, even when John Gruden took over, because he totally transformed the roster, this was a very young team. Didn't really have a lot of senior leadership. Sure, they had free agents from other teams, but it wasn't like those guys were coming in and were instant leaders. So, but what you saw this year in training camp, and what Josh McDaniels' staff kind of just talked about and harped on, was guys, being holding them on themselves accountable. So you would see guys jump off sides and they would take a lap. You would see guys miss the ball, they get 10 push-ups. You would see things like that, and the coach didn't have to remind them to do it; they were automatically doing it. And I think that translated to what you saw in preseason. Now, granted, there weren't a whole lot of starters out there, but for the most part, it's the first time since I've been on the team or since I've covered the team that they were as clean and less of penalties that they've had this preseason. Now, you take it for a grain of salt. The Raiders finished up with an unblemished record of 4-0 through the preseason, but and that some teams play vanilla. Some teams don't play their starters. It is what it is. But you always are able to coach more off of the heels of wins than losses. And so what I took as a preseason whole is that the team, especially the non-starters, the backups, bought into the system. They were able to execute, and they were able to win.
Link, what I saw last year for this team to make the playoffs with all of the drama and adversity surrounding this team was truly amazing. So what part of that carried over to this training camp, and did Josh McDaniels embrace that as well?
What was surprising is the fact that when Josh McDaniels and Dave Ziegler took over, they only had, I think, 37 guys under contract. So not only did they have to go out and fill the roster in order to make a 53-man roster, but you also had to fill the roster to get through training camp. And I think what it translated into is that it's a new regime. It's a new attitude. It's a new perspective. It's not, gone with the old ways. I mean, they was surprised that they not only traded Trayvon Mullen to the Cardinals, but they gave up on Alex Leatherwood after 1 year. You typically don't see coaches do that. But in this instance, and Mark Davis kind of gave the final approval, is like, you guys do this your way. I want you to run it your way because I want you to make a winner. And then they didn't really throw caution in the wind when they said, well, what's the cap hit or how is this going to affect our team? They really decided to take it on their own and to build their own team as they envisioned it.
I'm really curious. Are we going to see such an explosive offense from the Raiders, similar to what the Kansas City Chiefs have? Is it going to be like that, Lincoln? Can you put it on the same pedestal with those guys?
A little bit different.
Okay.
A little bit different. Here's the thing. The Kansas City Chiefs ran a lot of combination routes with their ex-receiver, who was Tyreek Hill, and Travis Kelce, their tight end. A little bit different in this situation. If you think back to the old New England Patriots offense, what did they use? They utilized a lot of their tight ends. That's where Gronk got, kind of made his mode, his famous. And then you talk about the slot receiver, Amendola, those other guys. They were big. And then you had the added caveat, especially when Randy Moss was there, how they were able to throw to the outside. I think you're going to see a little bit of an interesting dynamic like that with the Raiders. This offense is catered to the slot receiver. It's catered to opening up the tight end. And more importantly, it's catered to utilizing the back out of the backfield, whether it's with runs or, screen passes or even, backs being isolated or middle linebackers or linebackers in general.
Lincoln Kennedy joining us here on the right. Tony Guest and Roc and Manuch, Jimmy B. Pac-12 Networks and Las Vegas Raiders color analyst. All right, let's switch gears. You did a fine job, you and Roxy Bernstein, doing the ASU game last week against NAU. Just your thoughts overall of the Pac-12, watching Utah get beat by Florida, and then Oregon just get absolutely waxed in that game last week. Just phenomenal. You think, oh, wow, how does that happen? Your thoughts about the Pac-12 as a whole when you watched that past weekend?
I still have faith in Utah. I still think Utah is a capable team to challenge for the Pac-12 championship. I'm not necessarily sold on Oregon. I think there's still a lot of work to do. But Oregon touts, having the highest number of star recruits or 4 or 5 star recruits out of the Pac-10. So what that is worth is probably a grain of salt unless you're able to put it all together. As a whole, I've always been impressed, and we've talked about this before, how competitive the Pac-12 is. Now, that doesn't resonate on a national standard because the other conferences are so top-heavy that when you talk about domination like Alabama and with Clemson and Ohio State and their 3 respective conferences is done, it doesn't necessarily make for good competition or make good banter, except for the national prowess, the fact that they're unblemished. If they're able to go a long time and be unblemished and dominate over teams that they're supposed to be. But in the Pac-12, it's a little bit different. I still hold faith that there's a possibility at Utah, and even though USC is leaving in 2 years, they're still Pac-12 now. So if they win this year, it's all for the Pac-12. It's not for anybody else. UCLA, I think Arizona State could be competitive. They showed off their competitiveness the other night, even though it was against NAU.
Right.
I still think they can be competitive. And look, surprise of Arizona. You saw Washington. So you saw a lot of teams kind of make a little bit of a statement early. We'll see how it carries through. But, this is one of the better competitive divisions or conferences in all of college football. So I'm looking forward to seeing how they play when they get into the teeth of their schedules.
It's interesting, Lee, because I guess if you're going to really, start off bad, it's at the beginning of the season like they did Oregon, and they could always, recover. But to your point, it sounds like USC and Utah may be the class of the Pac-12 this year. All that being said, at some point you seem to settle in and settle down to who you become. You throw out the low, you throw out the high. With that being said, and to your diagnosis, do you feel that somebody could, in this conference, make a play for the playoff? Is that Utah or is that USC?
I would certainly hope so. I think that the hype that surrounds SC, if they're able to run the table, then obviously I think they're going to be in the hunt for the playoff bid. Let's face it, it is what it is. When SC is relevant, it's great for college football.
Yes,
it is. Yep.
Okay, so it is what it is. Utah, through all of Kyle Willingham's success and everything he's done up there, still does not get the national recognition that a USC does, especially when you talk about the tenure and history. And I don't necessarily think it's right, but it is what it is. So there are a number of teams that if USC is able to run the table, there are a number of teams that they play, a number of schools that they play, that will give them that better fodder. And then, of course, I'm hoping that if they are able to get into the playoffs, that they're able to do something and make just throw their weight around a little bit.
I'm going to roll to the contract that is now apparently talked about with the Big 12.
3 minutes.
They've already had meetings with ESPN. They're meeting with Fox this coming week. Once again, that is not taking place yet for the Pac-12. I'm just curious, Lincoln. You're like dialed into this. Are they running out of time, or do you just see the Big 12 just kind of taking so many different schools out of the Pac-12?
I don't necessarily see it like that. I think that now that we've got the new sort of what's going to be projected for the new college playoff system in a couple of years, that you're going to see sort of the dice fall.
2 minutes.
No pun intended being lost from Las Vegas, but the fact is that I really think now that the TV deals are going to start getting done for the particular conferences, and let's face it, guys, the world of college football as we know it, and college sports in general, is changing. It really is changing. It's becoming more and more like professional sports, and so I can honestly envision a day where you see an AFC and an NFC in college football. If you can imagine it, I think that's where you're heading for. And I think that so you throw conferences out the window, you throw old traditions out the window. You have to just get in line because it's a money grab now.
So let me ask you, like, a last one before we let you go. The Big 12 commissioner, Brett Zormark, who comes from Jay-Z's Rock Nation yesterday, he said, he wants a program that has national recognition, one that competes at the highest level in both basketball and football and stands for the right things, all that good stuff. Says he wants to go out west. Do you think he would pick from the Pac-12, or could it be a San Diego State? Could it be a Fresno State? And if so, do you have any clue who that may be that he's talking about?
No, it's really hard to quantify or to think about because, there's so many programs to choose from. Everyone was surprised, obviously, what happened with SC and UCLA going to the Big Ten. But in all, if I had my way, the Pac-12 would try to absorb some of their Western schools, but who? When you talk about how distinguished the Pac-12 is, when you talk about universities like Stanford and Cal and Washington have high education standards, who are you going to absorb from the West? The Big 12 lost a lot of its gumption when they lost Texas and Oklahoma to the SEC. So naturally, they're going to try to pick from another conference, a big conference. They're not necessarily going to go to the Big Ten because they're not going to be able to tread water. They're not going to be able to get two of their bigger names. So, when you look at the Pac-12, who's left? Is it Washington? Is it Washington and Oregon? Is that the two you're taking? I mean, I don't know where it's going to land, but I do know this, that we have not seen everything settled after this whole sort of thing with UCLA and USC did. We haven't seen all the dust settled. There's still more work to be done.
So Manuch hit the lottery the other day, and he said he wants to buy some cigars. So what kind of cigars should he buy for you?
Yes.
For you, what's the go-to cigars that we need to send your way?
You like those Swisher Sweets? You like those Swisher Sweets, there, big fella?
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, stop. Take 2 laps.
Take 3. Take 2 laps.
The Swisher Sweets are not cigars, okay? No, I don't smoke that. I don't smoke the wacky tobacco. So don't do that. But a nice Perdermo or something like that, a box of Perdermos would do just fine. Okay?
All right, we're on
something like that.
There
you go.
We're on it. Hey, as always, buddy. Thanks for making time for us local guys, man. We appreciate it.
It's a pleasure. Love you guys.
You got it.
Thank you,
Thanks, Kennedy, brother. Coming up, we're here at Twin Peaks in Scottsdale. We'll take the 5th caller to compete against Fran from Twin Peaks in our Peaks Picks, which is powered by Coors Light and Blue Moon. The games we'll be picking is tonight's game between the Bills and the Rams. We'll go out to Oklahoma, Stillwater, Oklahoma State and ASU. Then Chiefs and Cardinals will need the winner and score of that one. 602-260-9191. 5th caller, 602-260-9191. You are playing for a Twin Peaks man card. And I got to tell you, last 2 weeks, our listeners have won. So good stuff. But let's see if that can change today. I know Fran has won a lot, and she's a big football fan, so she'll join us next. 602-260-9191. Kent
guys. You got
Jackson.
about 6 minutes here.
Hi,
Girls
Fran.
are the
Nice to meet
essential
you.
ingredient to the perfect lodge experience. Each
Cool.
week, our girl next door Twin Peaks contestant takes on a Fox Sports 910 listener for 3 games. Get the most picks right and win a $25 man card for one of the 4 Valley Twin Peaks locations: Scottsdale, Phoenix, Glendale, and Tempe. Don't forget man-sized Coors Light draft specials every Thursday at Twin Peaks.
Jackson looks a lot different.
Peaks Picks.
All right, let's get to it. Bills and Rams, ASU, Oklahoma State, and then we'll finish it off with Chiefs and Cardinals. I stand corrected as I teased the segment. I said that the guys that have been calling in are the winners the last 2 weeks, but I stand corrected. Roc and Tempe won last week.
Oh, okay.
So the Twin Peaks girls are on a little one-game winning streak, and I think it's going to continue. Sorry to say that to Ken, who's going to join us here in a minute, who's our contestant. As Fran's back, we've been coming for the last 3-4 weeks, but it's preseason.
Yes.
Now it's the regular season.
Now it's
So we got to
happening.
bring in Fran because this is her show here.
Now we're legit, Rock.
I know you guys miss me.
We have. You're a big football fan. All right, you're going to compete with Ken, who is on the line. So we're going to start with the Bills and the Rams. That's the game tonight at 5:30 here at Twin Peaks. So who do you like in this one, Fran?
Oh, I feel like it's at the Rams Stadium, so I feel like I really am leaning towards them. And, they did so well last year, but I really think I'm going to go with the Bills. I think their defense is better, and defense wins games. So,
Okay.
Look at her.
All right.
Yeah.
Ken, you got your work cut out for you, buddy. What do you like tonight, Ken?
I'm going with the Rams.
the Rams.
Kids
All
go
right.
with the Rams.
Well, what's
All right.
All right, second game here, Fran. Arizona State travels to Stillwater, Oklahoma. Oklahoma State, who put like 90 points on the board last week. But ASU surprisingly played very, very well. ASU, Okie State on the road. Who do you got?
I gotta go against ASU. I don't know how much confidence I have in those guys anymore.
Well, they got 53 plus new players. They got a
Yeah.
brand new quarterback.
Yeah, they gotta
Oklahoma
fill it
State
out.
scores a lot of points. So you're going to go with the Cowboys? Still okay.
I
All right.
gotta-
All right, Ken, who are you going with? ASU or Oklahoma State?
Yeah, I got to go with Oklahoma State.
There you
we can
go.
Oklahoma
agree
State.
on something.
All right, there you go. All right, here's the final game of our Peaks Picks here at the Scottsdale location. The game of the week here in the Valley, it is the Cardinals hosting the Chiefs. Just found out today, Rondell Moore, hammy
issue.
not good.
Hamstring issue. We don't
All
know
right,
what
Fran,
it is.
we need the winner and the score. What's the score going to be?
So every other player on the team's got a hamstring issue
I
and-
know.
or a calf issue
I know.
or an earlobe issue.
Yep.
Yeah.
I am a Cardinals fan, so I'm going to go for the Cardinals. And I'm really excited because I want to see Hollywood and Murray see what they can do on the field.
This
so
is Fran.
I'm-
She's mid-season form, Manuch.
I'm
You
ready.
all right, what's the score going to be?
Oh, I feel like it's going to be kind of a closer game. So I'm probably going to go 30-something and maybe 20, low 20s.
Okay,
So what's the exact score?
I don't know. I'm not
It's
good
not
at
how
this.
they make up something.
Maybe 30.
So is this how it works? Like if I buy a couple Coors Lights, you're just
Yeah.
gonna maybe give me this much
Yeah,
amount of
I'm just
change.
gonna- I'm
You don't
not
give me
good
the
at
exact
math.
change.
I'm not good at math.
So I need to
don't
buy
give
from
change.
you.
I don't give
Oh,
change.
everybody just says keep it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Fran, look at you.
All right, give us the score.
Okay, I'm going to say 21 and 34.
All right, so
Cardinals.
34-21 Cardinals.
Yep.
All right, Ken, what's the score? Who's gonna win?
The team's going to win 36-27.
See,
36-27.
I'm
All right.
nervous.
Good luck to you, Ken. Thanks for playing. Thanks for listening, man. We appreciate it. Hopefully he'll win, or maybe
All right.
Maybe it'll be
the
me.
$25 man card. Speaking of man card, our man-sized drafts are back, right?
Yes. Oh, they're always here. They never go anywhere.
They never go
Yeah, we're
anywhere.
gonna keep 'em
They
here.
never leave?
What do you think the coldest you've ever poured one?
Well, we actually have a temperature gauge right here if anyone's ever curious. Right now, the beer's 28.5. So,
Wow.
those nice cold
That's a
frosty
damn
mugs.
cold. That's a cold beer right there.
beer
Now.
crystals, so good. And we have happy hour from 3 to 6. So all those man-sized beers are $2 off, and
Wow.
no liquor. So
Coors Light, Blue
Yeah.
Moon, got the man-sized drafts already. So you're right. You're mid-season form.
I'm ready.
Listener just keeps
I'm so
giddy.
excited. We did our fantasy football draft on Tuesday, so I'm like,
Who was your first pick?
who did I pick first? I think I got Derrick Henry first.
Good
was my
choice.
first pick. Yeah.
Very good choice.
Yeah. So I'm feeling really good. And I got Herbert as my quarterback. So I think he's a stud. So
Very
I
good
think
choice.
the Chargers look good this year. So hopefully they can get their defense figured out and take it further.
Seriously, Manuch, can you retire?
Yeah. What the
Rock
heck?
and Fran with Jimmy B? I think that sounds like it could work.
Yeah.
You sound nervous. She's clasping her hands talking about
I
the
am. I'm
Well,
Cardinals.
it's
so nervous.
Because we're on Twitter now, streaming live, so we can see Fran
3
finally.
minutes.
So
Yeah.
everybody can see her, and everybody can see her. And Jax did a great job of cutting the video, and
Sure
it's all right there. So nice job. Well, Fran, thank you. You're going to be doing this each week that we're here. So
Yeah.
we're at all 4 locations. But thanks for getting us started, kicking off the season right. So as always, thank you for your
Yeah.
time.
I
We
missed you
appreciate it.
guys. See you later. Good luck.
All right,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
That's Fran. Thanks for Ken for competing. But again, we're out here at the Scottsdale Twin
She's
Peaks
breaking it down, Rock.
mid-season forum.
She's like, okay, I'm nervous because they got this, they got that. And
You know,
they
and Fran's been coming on with us for, geez.
at least 3-4 years.
Yeah, and
Easy.
now for those of you who have not ever seen Fran, that's something new we added this year is our Twin Peaks camp.
Mhm.
And Jack's in charge of the Twin Peaks camp.
Yes, he is.
And right now,
Tough duty.
he's cleaning
Somebody's got to
up, yeah.
do it.
And right in his wheelhouse, age is about the same.
Yeah, poor guy.
Yeah, poor guy. Ben's
Yeah.
back there at the iHeartRadio studio is like,
Cry
can
me a river,
Wait,
Jax.
wait, yeah.
Cry me a river.
He could.
yeah,
come
but here's
over-
the difference, though. I think Ben's got a ring on his finger.
Yeah,
I
he's
think
good.
so.
He's taken.
Yeah, he's taken.
Yeah.
Jax is a free agent,
Yeah.
right?
Oh well, look at you.
Yes.
He could come over
Free
here.
agent. 2 minutes.
He could not come over here and set up Fran quick enough. He jumped right in. Yeah, let me handle
And
that.
the funny thing about it is, Grandpa Manuch was recruiting since like 2:00.
Yeah.
Trying to get somebody to do it, and bunch of no's, and then Fran out of nowhere, Jax is like, yeah. So we had to get somebody in there to close.
Absolutely. She is the closer. Trust me. She comes in here
At
and
Roc
gets
and Manuch as where we're Twitter as our Twitter page. By the way, our State 48 Roofing It's Your Call question of the day. What do you need to see as the next step for Kyler Murray as he's got paid? He just got paid. He's got the new contract. What do you need to see?
What's the next
Win
step?
from the pocket, stay healthy all year, the big numbers all year, or win playoff game. You can go to Roc and Manuch on our Twitter page and get taken care of there. So football season is here. We're excited. Again, we teamed up with Twin Peaks. Text Peaks to 55678 to get entered to win the Backyard Grill. How about that? So coming up in hour number 3, the keys to tonight's game. What does the health of the Cardinals look like going into week 1? Because that's a big deal. And who let the dogs out? It's our dogs picks is coming up as we continue on here at Twin Peaks. Every Thursday we're at a different location. Every Thursday. Tomorrow we'll be out at Right Toyota. And Monday it's Monday Night Tailgate at the CAZ Sportsbook in CAZ Sports Bar at Casino, Arizona. So looking forward to that. But I'm anxious to see who everybody's going with
10 seconds.
as we let the dogs out at about 3:15. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B from Twin Peaks, Scottsdale, Fox Sports 910.
Zach and Ernst not on the practice field.
So I'm on our Roc and Manuch page. It's not. How do I get it to get live? Yeah.
It says it'll be right back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I got so that. Oh, I got you. I thought okay. What's that? Here's how we got it. Oh, there's our side. We just go do updates here.
And is powered by the injury attorneys Lerner and Rowe. In Iraq and need a check? Make one call. That's all. 602-977-1900.
Guys are hot.
And always online at lernerandrowe.com. Now time for Calling All Sports with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B on Fox Sports 910.
Hey, everybody, welcome back. We continue until 4 o'clock. It's right here at Twin Peaks. We're in Scottsdale, the 101 and Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard. They will have a packed house for this game tonight. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're really looking forward to it. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, Fox Sports 910. Manuch, I know that you are jacked because even though you're an old dude now, that still runs hot when the football season is underway.
Well,
I know it does.
I would say I'm an old dude. I sound like a 5'1". I'm aging gracefully here. Speak for yourself over there, old fella. I think that anytime you get opening night of the National Football League,
Yes.
everybody's excited.
Yeah.
And I think that they are like it's the Buffalo Bills, my ex-team, being an alumnus, but I've got a quarterback on the other side of the field and one Bryce Perkins for the LA Rams who's been taking a lot of reps at backup quarterback. Wolford tore his fingernail off of his index finger about a week and a half ago.
On his passing hand?
Yeah, on his passing hand.
Okay.
But I'm sure he'll be the backup in tonight's game. But Bryce has been getting his reps. But again, here's the world champs against the Buffalo Bills, who everybody is saying should win the AFC East. Now, don't forget about those Kansas City Chiefs out there either now, folks, or the Cincinnati Bengals who went to the Super Bowl. So I think that I really believe that the AFC will be a 3 or maybe a 4-horse race. I could see that with the NFC as well, too. You could see the Rams, maybe the 49ers if they get Trey Lance straightened out and get him on par. Tampa Bay, don't forget about Tom Brady, TB12.
Right.
And you look at a few others, maybe Minnesota, maybe Green Bay, whomever that is. I ultimately think we could be seeing the precursor to the Super Bowl here at State Farm Stadium right down the road here in Glendale for maybe a prelude, precursor, whatever you want to call it, to the Super Bowl in tonight's game in SoFi Stadium.
Interesting. I can't wait for this game. It's going to really be electric in Los Angeles. All right, let's get to the top stories right now.
Time for the top local and national stories of the hour. Powered by
I just realized Jimmy isn't on the computer because we know that man don't own a computer.
favorite teams and players in an environment that's as exciting as the game you're watching. There's no better place in the Valley to get in on the action. The Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar. Now, guys, what's your top story this hour?
All right, well, this was pretty simple because everybody is getting hurt for the Arizona Cardinals, and today is no different. So we bring in our illustrious intern, Jackson Goff, who's been hanging out here, doing a great job putting everything together, and he will enlighten us on the latest information from Cardinal facility.
Okay, that's enough fluff. He's an intern.
All right, okay, come on. Give us the info.
Jimmy, he's an intern. He's a rookie.
He's a good kid.
Yeah, well, okay, but he's got to earn his stripes. So here's Jackson. What do you got?
All right, I appreciate it. It's Groff, by the way, not Goff, not Jared Goff. It's all good. I get that all the time, but
there's an R in there, Jimmy.
Groff.
The Cardinals cannot seem to catch a break. Wide receiver Rondale Moore injured his hamstring today during practice, per league source. He will go further examination, including an MRI, to determine the severity of his injury. Not good.
You know, it just blows me away. I
know,
think so many people away that these guys are calf injuries, hammies, earlobe injuries. One guy strained his tongue by talking too much the other day. This is the most ridiculous thing I have ever seen.
I'm with you.
As far as a team, and this is typically you're the healthiest you're going to be in the opening game.
Right
now.
now.
We'll catch up here with Howard Balzer here, beat writer for the Cardinals at 3:30. Get his update. I just hope, Jimmy, you don't pull a muscle just getting up out of the chair to go to the bathroom for crying out loud. It's just like the anomalies of this Arizona Cardinals team just blows me away as to what's going on. Will there be anybody? Let me see it. Let me do the K-State math here. There's 7 on the 6 on the IR.
Correct.
Is 7 is the 8 now 9 questionable going into the game.
Yes.
And did Zach Ertz practice or not practice today?
He did not practice.
He did not.
He did not practice yesterday.
Yep.
Okay, but he got a hangnail today. What happened?
J.J. Watt did not practice.
Okay,
today.
got a hangnail. Did Marcus Golden practice today?
He did.
He did practice.
Yes.
Okay. How about the center? That's the All-Pro potential center,
Hudson.
Rodney Hudson. Did he practice?
He was on the field.
Okay. Did he walk from the practice field?
Don't know that if he was
in a golf cart.
I don't know if he was in the golf cart, but he was on the field.
They said something to the effect of resting. Is that what was? He was resting today.
Resting.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Cardinals will be taking applications for players at any particular time right now. This is absurd. Now watch him go ahead and blow out the Chiefs 45-7 or something like that, and it'll make me crow. I'll put a little barbecue sauce on that.
Okay.
This is amazing to see this when none of them played in the preseason.
I know, especially the week of the game too. Manuch, you played in the league. Like, was this something that you've seen back in the day, or are the Cardinals soft?
We all played preseason games, 4 preseason games, 6 weeks of training camp, full pads. Even when we slept, we had our pads on. I'd go in the dorm. I mean, we've never had these little soft tissue things. Now receivers would get a little hammy strain, but you never saw the calf strains. If you did, you got on the incline board, you stretch out your calf. All right, here's a couple Advil. You'll be good to go. There's either something wrong with their stretching or lack thereof, or their training or their philosophy with training, because something's amiss. Now, sprained ankles, toes, all that kind of thing can happen.
Right.
They're practicing hard. I know that. I'm a little facetious here. They're practicing hard. But something's going on with maybe it's lack of practice, not practicing enough, which is creating these soft tissue injuries.
All I can tell you is Andy Isabella, who we haven't seen really much of in the first 3 seasons that he has been here, I think you're going to see a lot of them in Sunday's game. I really do.
I think
if Rondale Moore can't go, hello, Andy.
Well, and the blessing in disguise is that he played a lot of preseason.
He did.
I think that the confidence, played all 3 preseason games. He had the 5 catches in the last one, too. You really looked good. And from the Cardinals' sake, you look at that and you just wonder, okay, well, if our receiving core is banged up, got the strains, we can always rely on our tight ends, right? Well, you got Zach Ertz. He's questionable.
Yep.
Trey McBride, well, he was quasi-questionable. D Hop's out. McBride looks like he's okay. Max Williams looks like he's okay as of today. And Steven Anderson looks like he's okay. And the 15 other tight ends they have, they look like they're all okay, at least at this particular time. But I look at this and go, okay, Marquise Brown, Isabella, we're all good, okay? So you look down and you go, okay, A.J. Green, good. Greg Dortch played a lot of football. Seems to be okay. From that standpoint, they're going to have to be okay because if any of those guys get dinged up and your tight ends are dinged up, can any of the receivers go out to slot? You could put Eno at slot or Jonathan Ward, who's also questionable.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of questionable play calling that Cliff Kingsbury is going to have to look at if these guys can't make the game. Or did they get dinged during the game?
It'll be interesting to see if this changes their strategy, changes their play calling going into the Chiefs. I mean, do they run the ball more with James Conner? They got James Conner. They got Eno Benjamin.
That's
2 running back set. What do you think?
That's been my mantra the entire offseason, I'd say since spring, with D-Hop got suspended for the 6 games. They are going to have to rely heavily more, I wouldn't say heavily, but more on Conner, Benjamin, and Williams, and Ward if he's healthy, to take the ball or control the clock against this Kansas City Chiefs team. Take some of that pressure off of Kyler Murray. Here's the other thing, too, guys, you think about. Running game aside.
Okay.
Who's out there at practice to work on your timing with whoever lines up as your receivers to make sure you got everybody's in sync? Okay, because Zach Ertz is going to run a lot different than Trey McBride.
Correct.
And Isabella's going to run different than Rondell Moore. You know what I mean? You see what I'm going at here, guys?
Yeah, no, I get it.
You need everybody on board Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Saturday's more of a walkthrough. But Thursday, Friday, with your passing game, your 2-minute offense, your short yardage, any gimmick plays or gadget plays that you're going to run, you fine-tune those on Thursday, Friday, and you might just kind of talk about them on Saturday. You see what I'm getting at here, guys?
Yeah.
Hayes got to be in the barn by tomorrow night at 6 o'clock for this Cardinals team. If it's not, to your point, Jimmy, is this going to change the strategy or the play calling of Cliff Kingsbury? And we all know that if you got a good running game, that helps that strategy immensely.
Here's the point that I want to make. If indeed the Cardinals defense struggles to have success against the Kansas City offense, and this game looks like it's going to be 38, 34, 38, 42, something like that. And if you have all of these guys hurt, Manuch, they're not going to be able to keep up.
Well, and I think the point there, Jimmy, is that if guys do start the game, who finishes because of these soft tissue injuries that they had, a strain here, a strain there. Guys, you got to know if Rondell Moore feels he can go on Sunday, as soon as he opens it up 3 or 4 times, he may restrain it.
Good.
J.J. Watt, he's got a strained calf right now.
Right.
If he goes full bore, he restrains that calf, or anybody else restrains this or strains that type of thing. I think those are some of the things that you're going to, take a good hard look at as far as all the other stuff is concerned. So that amongst the game that's why you rely on your running game in order to make sure that you don't rely on those guys too much.
I'm with you on that.
I was excited to see Rondell Moore. Like a Samuel kind of guy, part due like they do in San Francisco, out of the backfield, maybe some jet screens, some jet sweeps, some real quick routes to show some new looks. And then if you take a couple shots with Hollywood Brown, I'm excited about that. But you better have everybody all hands on deck if you can, go ahead and expose the Chiefs defense that way.
I'm with you on all of those. This is going to be really interesting this coming Sunday. Hey, you need a new backyard patio grill for your place? You want to have a chance to get one? All you have to do is just text PEAKS to 55678. That's PEAKS to 55678. And you'll be entered to win customized backyard grill patio set courtesy Twin Peaks, Blue Moon, and Coors Light.
So most weekend bettors prefer to lay down the cash, right?
That's it.
Not us. Not Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. We're all about the dogs. The underdog picks of the week are next. We're live at Twin Peaks. It's brought to you by the new sports book at the CAZ Sports Bar at Casino, Arizona. This is Fox Sports 910. All right, so you know what you're doing here, big fella? Ben? So, I am. You're affiliated with, I'm sorry, way back. Way back in the day. Well, we, no. Was quarterback. No, back then, Joe Ferguson. No interest in it. 79, 80, 81. I was born and raised in Buffalo. Okay. How long did you come out here? No, can't get. Oh, because you were back where I was back. Turn off the radio and I love the ponies. Back in the day. It's been so far out.
I just got back from
well, it'll be excited about tonight. Yeah, I'm excited for them. I think if there's a year they can win it all, this is the year. Wow. They have. That's awesome. They've got everything. What's your name? Fred. Fred doesn't listen. That's Italian kid from Buffalo. Yeah, exactly. My first football game was in the old Rock Pile. Oh, wow. Yeah, I heard you. Yeah. Nice meeting you. Same here. Yeah, I'll set it up. I got it. Yeah, we will. You're good. Oh, man. I only got one.
First race in 6 months.
For you?
All right, 6 months.
You're right.
Oh, I would love you guys to. It's a shame.
Yeah, ask me. We'll come out and do a show there.
Oh, I would love to. What would we have to pay you?
Well, you'd have to talk to Rock. Has been added to the Panthers list with a shin issue.
It's a shin issue?
People just get banged up, right? What about him? He's a jockey. Yeah, we've been trying for years. I can't get you guys to have us there.
What if I get you guys? Get you there.
So
you guys have season now? November 5th. It's opening day.
So Arizona's that's a Saturday,
Yeah,
right?
10.5.
That goes a lot. I thought maybe like, well, I could see
That
some
man
tickets.
just won.
Yeah.
I paid him over $10,000 back.
Good job. Now we were there about 10 years ago, maybe. We haven't gone a long time. We've had some turnover.
Right, you come back.
I know. I love doing it. We talk about it. I'm not sold on Mississippi State's defense. I know everybody will do it to be there, but we charge, somebody like $1,000. We don't charge a lot, but whatever.
I'll get you guys paid if you come.
All right, well, I'll give you my card, and then you tell us who will promote you and everything.
Yeah, for me, but promote the track.
Yeah, the track needs some more people there. I love going there. It's so much fun.
Vince, GM.
Yeah, Vince is who I used to call.
Vince is my buddy.
All
I
right.
get him to do
He's
it.
still doing the mayor of Cape Creek? Or was he a mayor or something?
He was the mayor of Cape Creek,
Long time ago.
but I still think he is.
Really?
I still think he is.
Shoot me an email. We'll make it happen.
I'll get you guys in there. Hey, looking forward to seeing you guys in turn.
Hey, I'll go to the ponies anytime.
The question is,
Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out? Most
You guys are hot.
weekenders prefer to lay their money down on favorites because they can't get their head around backing an underdog. Not Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. They're all about the dogs. Time now for the guys' dog picks of the week on Fox Sports 910.
All right, dog picks of the week. We're all going to get involved here. And what we're trying to do here. Now, we got a couple alligator arms here that kind of do the show with me. But the goal, what I like to do, is for every win this year.
Okay.
All right.
Yep.
It's $25.
Okay.
That $25 at the end of the year, depending on how many wins you have, it's one a week.
Okay.
The most is $100 a month.
Okay.
$25 will go to the Arizona Humane Society.
I'm good with
For
that.
some
Nice.
dogs.
I'm good
What do
with
you
that.
guys think about that?
Absolutely.
And maybe we could get a sponsor to match us.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay, so all of us, $25 each. So if we all win,
Sure.
it's we got 4 or 5 of us. That's $125. Manuch.
Good job. You did
Yeah.
K-State math. Very good, Rock.
And by the way, speaking of dogs, a little update on Guinness.
Yes.
So you guys made fun of me because he goes to a chiropractor.
I thought you were we were gonna talk beer for a minute there. I got all excited.
Well, we can do Coors Light. So I gotta tell you, they're not a sponsor or anything like that. But
yes,
3 weeks now, he's been going to Desert Shadows. Dr. Chris Campo, guy's awesome. 40th Street in Bell.
Okay.
It's game changer, guys.
Really?
I didn't think. All right, what's a chiropractor gonna do?
You told
But
me.
it is. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
my back legs, the dog's back legs. I mean, he couldn't run, he couldn't barely walk, couldn't get up, couldn't jump on the bed. It's amazing what Dr. Campo's doing.
Awesome.
The last time you referenced Guinness, which is Rock's name for his dog, you were concerned that you thought that you might lose him.
I was so emotional about it. And
You were. Yes.
I told Dr. Campo, I said, this is the best thing ever. And he's not paying us to say it. I don't care about sponsorships, all that, with this kind of stuff. Dog chiropractic works.
That's amazing. I've never heard of that.
I asked him how many patients he has, dogs and not cats and horses. I mean, it's upwards of like 300, 400, 500. Wow. It's a big business. I had no idea. Anyway,
incredible.
Desert Shadows, 40th Street. There you go. Dr. Campo.
Glad
All
you're doing better.
All right, Ben, let's start it off with me.
Let's start with the guy who grew up playing tennis, and his dog Guinness beat him last year in the fan pickup.
Hey guys, you ready to let the dogs out?
Rock, you got a lock?
I got a lock. All right, I had 3, but I'm going to knock it down to 1.
Okay.
And you would just bear with me on this one. Southern Miss is a 26.5 underdog, 26.5 points against Miami.
Okay.
Now, Miami won big last week. Mm-hmm. It beat Bethune-Cookman 70-7. Southern Miss lost to Liberty, which is now Big Ten football. But Frank Gore Jr. is the running back for Southern Miss.
He is.
Miami's Frank Gore.
Yes.
Gore, the running back, one of the top running backs of Group 5, played high school football in Miami. So his dad's a legend. He's going to come out. He's going to rush for 200 yards. All right. Last week he rushed for like 148.
He did.
And they lost to Liberty in 29-27, and it was a 4 overtime game.
They were in that game, yes.
So I was going to go with Stanford and take the 9 with USC, but I am going to take Southern Miss at 26.5. All right, let's go to Manuch.
Manuch, you played the game, so this should be a no-brainer.
They're all my dogs.
Give us your dog of the week.
My dog is definitely was Baylor traveling to BYU. BYU is the favorite in this. The number 9 team in Baylor, number 21 BYU. They are the home favorite. I look at this with Baylor after they beat the tough juggernaut Albany team 69-10. This Baylor team is loaded. They got some of the top guys in the Big 12. I find it hard to believe that the number 9 team is a dog going into BYU. BYU, very good game last week, but they cannot handle Baylor. Baylor wins this bad way going away in double digits.
Okay.
Got Baylor as my dog winner.
All right, let's go with Jimmy B.
Game for over 40 years. Finally, he's not Jimmy the Greek, but he's been calling the game for over 40 years.
What about the dogs? What about the dogs?
Jimmy B, what's your underdog pick of the week?
This one is simple for me. I'm staying home state, boys. I'm going with Arizona getting 10.5 as they say hello to Mississippi State and the Pirate.
At home.
At home. I am going to grab that 10.5 points. I was highly impressed with how well U of A played on the road at San Diego State and the way that they handled the Aztecs. Look, I don't expect them to win the game, but I expect them to be in this game. That's why I'm grabbing the points. My dog, U of A.
All right, that's Jimmy's. Ben, what are you going with, buddy?
All right, so I prepared for 3 because I'm an overachiever, but instead I'm going to do the rock method and just pick one. And we all saw how terrible Iowa was against, I believe, San Diego State University last week.
Did not score a touchdown.
They were absolutely horrendous against them.
South Dakota State.
The Jackrabbits. All 3 people in South Dakota are upset with me right now. But here's what we're going to say. Iowa State is a 3.5-point dog against Iowa, who looked just terrible. So for that reason, I'm taking the Cyclones to not cover, but also take the money line for these guys as they are going to beat Iowa this week.
Good call. All right, let's go to intern boy. Jackson, what do you got, pal?
Well, this is my first time doing this. I don't know if we can have the same picks. Is that fine if I have the same one as someone else?
No, you can.
Well, me and Jimmy had similar interests. I also went with U of A plus 10.5. I not only think they're going to cover the spread, but I also think they're going to win the game.
Wow.
Okay. I'm going.
That's why you're an intern and not full-time on this show.
Have your own thoughts over there, Jackson. Come on, bro. Damn.
So there you have it. It's all about the dogs. That's right. So hopefully we win. That's $125 that we will donate to the Arizona Humane Society.
Yes, absolutely.
So
good call.
Why not? We'll do that. Have some fun. And if anybody wants to match us, you can always reach me on Twitter at Sports Radio Rock, or you can call us at the station 602-260-9191.
If I'd have taken another one, I might have taken this Bills and the Rams
getting points.
Super Bowl champs are dog at home -2.5. It's almost dang near a pick 'em. That's why I didn't. But this is gonna be interesting.
I think the Alabama-Texas game, which is the game of the week on Fox, 20.5.
Is that where it's at right now?
Yeah, Texas has got they got a really young team.
Yes,
They do. Young team, especially in that offensive line. that Alabama defense probably the best in all football.
Yeah.
Anytime those lines get up to about 10, 10.5, it's really scary because there's something Vegas knows that we do not know.
Yeah, you could be right. Trojans and Stanford, another game I was looking at. 9 points. USC has not won at Stanford since 2014.
Wow.
They've won 2 of the last 4, that being Stanford. So they kind of had their number. So,
and the thing is, Stanford's always good for that upset. You know what I mean?
I think the Pac-12 in general has that team that's going to upset somebody.
Yeah, you think if somebody gets on a roll, and all of a sudden Stanford comes out of nowhere. And I remember you talked about some of those Pete Carroll teams, and then when Stanford.
I'd say that.
I think when Pete Carroll, for me, because we've talked about this, when Pete Carroll was going to Stanford.
When did we talk about this?
Oh, when it happened? When Jim Harbaugh was the head coach at Stanford?
I remember.
And then Pete Carroll and 20 years ago.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Do you remember tying your shoes this morning?
Absolutely.
I thought he had Velcro.
He's got the Skechers.
And you had
fit right in.
And you had those SC teams going to Stanford and Jim Harbaugh. So I got some for you and would beat those USC teams. So Stanford, USC, yeah, they got the number, those Trojans.
Hey, we're out here at Twin Peaks. No one does happy hour better than Twin Peaks. Whatever your preference is, they have everything from tequila cocktails, and they also have an extensive bourbon category to top shelf that is spirits and cocktails served with the ice balls. Local craft beers, got specials every weekend on Coors Light, Blue Moon. Check it out, and of course, the man-sized drafts. 29 degrees of Blue Moon and Coors Light. All kicks off on Thursday. Well, Cards, at press time, 7 players were questionable. 6 were on the IR, but that has changed over the last couple hours. Howard Balzer will break it all down as they get ready for the Chiefs on Sunday. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B on Fox Sports 910.
Yeah, I like that. It's a good segment. Different. Took me about 4 hours to produce it. I like it. Will Ben keep track of all that? Right on there. You go over that stuff with him, don't you? Yeah. No, I'm not that. I just make sure. I wrote it in there. I just make sure he keeps track of it. I can make a little graphic. Cool. Yeah. Just keep they have our faces. Say when you see Taylor over. Yeah, Taylor was yours was Southern. This was. If you're here or he's here, you guys communicate, put it on there. So we have it every week. So you'll see, we put the Twin Peaks in here. So each line of us every day, So that way the Thursday line will always be there. Anybody can get to it. What's the favorite calling? Dog pick of the week. I mean, everybody does picks. Dog's kind of different, Any underdog? I was in Fresno State. I think he's got to be more than that. I was between, and I was in this book. Stanford. 10-4. You're looking good, Manuch.
What's that?
You look good on you.
I know, man. You make me look good. It's a makeup.
I'll get it in. Thank you. I had to run over and make sure you get Jimmy on too. I had to get you on here for your thing. Oh, I appreciate that. We'll get it to work next time. There you go.
Thank you. Good, you got that centered up like that.
So, Jim, you Jock Jim is what it is? Yeah.
What's that?
My email address.
Don't play is open.
Is that going to be published?
No, we're not playing it.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Jock Jim at Hotmail.
Yeah, you're up now. I just put your picture up and everything on our website. Or not our website.
You don't want to put it up there. All the defaults are going to start.
So what it is, you go to fanpickup.com, all our pictures are up. So our VIP pics, everybody can see our pics.
Oh, okay.
I just need your email to get in. Are you guys are we broadcasting radio? Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
I'd say so. That's Coach Reed of the Chiefs will be here this weekend.
Said he's looking forward to Kyler Murray. I don't know. He spoke very highly of him.
He's not bad. He's a pretty good player.
Yeah,
He's not bad at all.
He's not bad. Howard Balzer joining us now. You can follow him on Twitter at Howard Balzer721, and he joins us now. Talks some Cardinal football. How many more guys are going down with hamstrings there, Howard?
Or calf injuries?
What's the over/under before the season starts?
Somebody strained an earlobe, or what the heck happened there?
I'll tell you. By the way, it's just to make it totally clear. It's H Balzer at H Balzer 721.
Oh, Manuch.
Yeah. And I do.
Oh, my bad.
We joked a few weeks ago about how the years were off on how long I've covered the NFL because I think that was taped a couple of years ago. And so what I had to do is I had to change jobs so you couldn't run the Open anymore because it would be so. So anyway, that was my way to get it all updated. So hope that happens before I'm covering the NFL for 50 years. But so be it. But yeah, I mean, the first story I wrote for my new, we're at my new residence, if you will, at gophnx.com was about how the way the season looks right now, the way it's opening, almost looks as bad as it was at the end of last season when the Cardinals had so many injuries. And here you have this guy and that guy, and now Rondale Moore, who hadn't been practicing, and Cliff Kingsbury wouldn't tell us what the injury was, and then he practiced yesterday, and so he wasn't on the injury report, and then today he goes on with a hamstring injury. And so we don't know if that's what it was, if it was before the same thing that had been bothering him, or whether this is something new. That's always the mystery when it comes to Cardinals injuries. And so, I mean, it's a roll of the dice on who's going to be there Sunday. Zach Ertz practice limited on yesterday. Today he wasn't out there at all. So I'll tell you, this is not great going into this game against the Chiefs with some of the issues that that they have injury-wise, and a defense that has been depleted in certain areas, especially at cornerback. Obviously, going up against Patrick Mahomes and company.
Well, and Howard, we were talking a little bit earlier about you want to at least have as all the guys as healthy as they can by Thursday, Friday. Work out the timing in the passing game,
right.
Work out the minutia one way or the other with audibles and adjustments, what have you, on both sides of the football. And I don't know how Cliff Kingsbury is doing that, which leads me to this. How much more of the running game will he rely on, you feel, with all this being in place to protect the ball and take some time off the clock and keep the Chiefs off the field?
You and I think alike, because I was thinking the same thing today, and I was asking some players about it, trying to be away from all the other reporters who are gathered around. So I kind of hang a little bit and ask about that. And I asked Max Williams, and he said, hey, I'm not the one calling the plays, but yeah, we'd like to hold the ball for as long as we could. And asked Buda Baker about it. Hey, you telling your offensive friends, hey, hold on to that ball. Maybe, and the thing is they love to go so up. It's not only running the football, it's also just not going as up tempo, because we
sure.
see that.
Yeah.
And what can happen there, I mean, it's great when it works, but you're not going to score every time you touch the ball. And so if you have a 3 and out or a possession with only 5 plays or so, all of a sudden you might be only on the field for a couple minutes, 2 minutes of clock time, and that just gives the ball back to the Chiefs. So I would think that they should do something like that The question is if they will. And you have a healthy James Conner. The one thing about it, your running back core is healthy right now, and hopefully they use the combination of Darrell Williams and Eno Benjamin behind James Conner, and perhaps use them in the passing game with short, quick stuff, which also keeps the clock going. And run, have some time of possession. I think that is a formula that I think could be very important for this team having a chance to hang with the Chiefs and maybe pull off a victory on Sunday.
And what goes hand in hand is the guys that do play as far as keeping the Chiefs off the field. How long can those guys last in a game that are questionable with all these bumps, bruises, and injuries in order to contain and stay on the field for the rest of the entire game?
No, that's exactly right. Marcus Golden was out there a little bit today, and actually, Vance Joseph, we've all wondered, is this really a toe injury or is it a hold-in because he wants more, he wants a new contract? And Vance Joseph, the defensive coordinator today, just was talking about him and said that and it's the weird injuries too. He had a weight room incident that ended up injuring his toe. It wasn't even running on the field. It was in the weight room. And so it's just bizarre, some of these things that are happening. But you're right. If guys are banged, even if they try to play them, how many snaps, can they play? How many snaps could Golden play? If Ertz is out there, how many snaps can he, realistically play? And then Cody Ford. I mean, you've got Justin Pugh, who's been bothered by a neck injury, and he's been out there, but limited. And then Cody Ford, who's his backup, he was added to the injury report today with an ankle injury.
Oh, man.
So it's just one thing after another with this team, and it's certainly not the way you want to be at the start of the season. The Chiefs had no players with injuries, either not practicing or limited yesterday. Today they had one player, Frank Clark, defensive end, added to the list as did not practice because of an illness. But in terms of injuries, they're about as healthy as a team can be. And they're a team that really goes at it in training camp. So whatever it is, there's something that's affecting this team. And they a lot of times they don't have these horribly serious injuries, but they do have those nicks and stuff, like you said, that can really. And here's another thing: can affect you late in the game, especially when none of. Let's be real about this. None of these guys have played 4 quarters this year, so far, and so that could be a lot to ask. And so it'll be very interesting to see what's out on Sunday afternoon.
All right, Howard. If Rondale Moore can't go, does that mean Andy Isabella is going to fill that spot? I mean, he looked terrific during preseason games, but once again, that's preseason.
Well, I would think that even if Moore can, then you don't know how long he would last.
Sure.
So I think it could be that it's unusual usually to have 5 wide receivers active for a game, but it could be that they might be, in a sense, forced to do that. You have Marquise Brown, you have A.J. Green, and then you've got Moore and Isabella and Greg Dortch. And I'm sure Dortch will be active, but it might be dangerous to go with just 4. And so it could very well be that they'll all be out there. And then we'll see if Dortch and Isabella, especially in the offense, if they can do some of the things against the Chiefs' number 1 defense, as opposed to what they did in the preseason against backup guys.
Howard, let's you chime in on our State 48 Roofing It's Your Call question of the day. The question is, what do you need to see as the next step for Kyler Murray as quarterback this season? Your choices are pocket play, staying healthy, big numbers all year, and 4, win a playoff game. Of those 4, which one would you vote?
Well, here's the thing. Number 3 and number 4 would really be a product of number 1 and number 2.
Yeah, good point.
And so those are the things that are necessary. I think the staying healthy certainly has to be, because he acknowledged that it was tough coming back from his injury last year and the year before, and Cliff Kingsbury admitted he wasn't the same player. I've been saying that all off season, and he admitted he wasn't the same guy. So you need to keep him healthy all season. You like to see the improved leadership and all those things, obviously, but more yards, a possible playoff win. Well, if you don't have 1 and 2, it would be a question of whether you even make the playoffs, much less win a game. So those are the things that have to happen with him, and we'll see how he handles it all early with some of the issues on offense. Obviously, you don't have DeAndre Hopkins. You might have a little bit, if you don't have a healthy Zach Ertz, that can affect the pass, the throwing it to the tight end, which was such a big part of this team in the second half of last year. So it'll be instructive to see how he plays, not only how he plays, but when things get a little tough and maybe, there is some adversity, how does he handle it? Because we saw twice, guys, at the end of last season when he just wasn't feeling right, wasn't playing well. The game against the Colts, the playoff game against the Rams, where he was being pursued in the end zone by a pass rush, and he just threw the ball up in the air.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you just can't do that stuff in NFL games. So that's, I think, one thing that he has to show that he can do is always keep his calm, keep his poise, even when things aren't going well.
All right, Howard, you better hope he doesn't go down because Trace McSorley is now your backup quarterback with Colt McCoy on the IR the first 4 weeks. Is this Cardinals team? I'd be curious to see if you guys, if they've have talked to any experienced quarterbacks that are out there and available. I know that you got Hundley Jr. is living in Chandler. He got let go by, I believe, the Colts. He's available. He knows this system. Have they inquired to any experienced NFL quarterbacks and a backup role?
I don't believe that they're in the hunt right now for that, and I don't think Hundley. I mean, heck, Hundley was here 2 years ago, and and they didn't think, they thought so little of him that they made Chris Streveler the backup, and then then last year they went out and got obviously Colt McCoy before the season started to be that veteran backup. So I think they like what McSorley has done. Certainly, again, that was in the preseason against backups. But I think if there was an issue where they had something would happen with Murray, he had to go out, that they'd be fine with McSorley for now. Now, if he proved that he's not up for it, then all of a sudden you might have to do something, especially if Murray was going to be out for a little bit of time. But I don't see them looking for anyone at this point. And until they see what happens in some games coming.
And we saw the disaster that was Streveler at those last couple of games. That's why I say that, Howard. They'd be ignorant not to inquire what's out there because Trace McSorley, it's going to be a deer with the headlights hitting him in the eyes if he has to play in a National Football League real season game.
Well, it could be. I mean, we have I don't know that Hundley. I mean, Hundley did okay in a couple of games when he had to play in Kyler Murray's rookie year. And what happened with him, that they soured on him, I don't know. But obviously he hasn't kept a job in the NFL since. So you do wonder about that. And so I don't know. Maybe McSorley would surprise us. Would surprise us all if he had to play. But like I said, I think at least for the time being, that's the way they'll go with it. And then and perhaps take a look, but like you said, there's not a whole lot out there at this stage of the season. Probably Hundley would be the best option, but I don't know how good an option that would be. Like I said,
Howard, always very appreciative. Balzer 721. It's still preseason for Manuch, so he a little misprint there, but we got it right.
Night,
it's all right. Preseason, we'll be good. So we'll get it for next week. Balzer 721. Buddy, have a good weekend, man. Thanks for the time.
All right, guys. Take care.
Thank you, man.
Howard Balzer joining. So what's on tap, powered by 72 Sold, is next, along with the Lerner Row one call of the day. We're live from the Twin Peaks in Scottsdale. Tell you how you can win a customized grill for your backyard, patio grill, like the whole set with the
everything.
I mean, really, it's pretty kick-ass. Tell you how you can win that next. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B on Fox Sports 910. against the Rams. Interact, need a check, make one call. That's all. 602-977-1900 and always at lernerroad.com. Again, one call. That's all. 602-977-1900. Let's get to what's on tap, powered by 72 Sold. Tonight, of course, it is the Bills and Rams from SoFi Stadium. You don't have to have Amazon Prime or DirecTV tonight because it's on NBC. But starting next week, that won't be the case. So you'll have to come join us at one of the 4 Valley Twin Peaks locations. We're at Scottsdale tonight. Tomorrow, or I should say next week, will be in Tempe. And you can take advantage of the 22-ounce man-sized drafts of Coors Light for just $5.50 or 50 cents more. You get a man-sized Blue Moon. D-backs off tonight. They'll be back at it tomorrow, 5:40 in Colorado to take on the Rockies. What's on tap is powered every day on Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B by America's leading home selling program. There's no better way to sell your home than 72 Sold. Get our price, a higher price, at 72sold.com.
All right, State 48 Roofing. Get your call question of the day. You can still go to
how many sponsors can we fit in?
Hit them all in
one segment. Because I got one more after you're done.
The question is, and as I mentioned, you still go to at Roc and Manuch on Twitter. What do you need to see? This is the next step Kyler Murray needs to make as a quarterback. You can go pocket play, staying healthy, big numbers all year, or win a playoff game. Currently, the leader in the clubhouse is win a playoff game. Big numbers all year and staying healthy at 25%.
All right, good stuff there as we are finishing up here at Twin Peaks. Had some good guests today. Fran was probably the best from Twin Peaks.
She's great, man.
She was in midseason form. Lincoln Kennedy, of course, calling us out, calling a little preseason football at us because made a little bit of a mistake with the Oakland and then the LA Raiders. So that's
we covered the gamut with the Raiders.
Some of what happened today. Always fun to catch up with Mitch Holthus from the Chiefs. He's the longtime play-by-play voice for them. So good stuff there. Hey, AZTV Channel 7, your new home for college football here in Arizona, featuring schools that have produced some of the game's best athletes. Great football, high-energy halftime bands. Coverage you won't find on any other station. Tune in for the kickoff this Saturday at 3 o'clock. College football on AZTV Channel 7. Brad Perry will be joining us on Wednesdays, and Manuch will be going on television.
Well, get that makeup.
It's funny. They called me. They're like, you want to come on? And I said, no. I said, there's a guy. Well, there's 2 guys now, but Manuch, if there's a camera, he's first in line, and Jimmy's not far behind.
Mm-hmm.
You guys love the TV. The funny thing about these 2 guys, folks, is they both wear glasses. And once the camera comes out, the glasses come off. And I don't understand that because they look completely different with the glasses off.
That's why.
We look younger.
You look normal and like you know what you're talking about with the glasses on. Glasses off, you guys are like you're going to bed.
So on Thursdays, I just wear my contacts and not my glasses.
That's what you should do.
That's what I'll do.
But it was funny because he was doing a deal because we're now on we're on Twitter and YouTube and all that stuff, video
streaming, man.
And Jimmy B has the pocket phone, the
flip phone.
The flip phone.
Yeah.
So he's the only one that's not on. But then Jax had to move the computer over so he could get in a shot. And what's the first thing he does? Took his glasses off.
Oh my gosh! Yeah.
Damn straight.
How can you see when the glasses
I
are off?
can see fine without. Mine are just for reading. Yes, I have to read these things all the time.
So you play golf with glasses on?
Sunglasses.
But you're wearing glasses.
Yeah.
So
sunglasses.
But if it's cloudy?
I'll just I don't need them then.
You sure?
Yeah.
You're lying to me right
You're
now.
moonwalking right now.
Yeah, you
I am not moonwalking.
When I get a couple odds in there from Jimmy B, I don't know.
No.
And guys out of Eastern Washington, they moonwalk quite a bit.
Cooper Kupp, baby, he's going to have like 10 catches tonight and 175 yards, 2 touchdowns.
And make sure you get the fan pickup, get your picks in.
Yes.
What's great about it is you don't have to get all the picks in. They're going to take the favorite anyway if you miss today. And we take your top. What is it? There's 19 weeks. I think we take your top 11 or 12. So you can have some bad weeks and still win this trip to Hawaii. A man card prizes, fanpick'em.com. I got Rams tonight. Manuch?
I took the Rams as well, too, I believe.
Jimmy went Rams. So all 3 of us went Rams tonight. It's sad that you can play for a particular team and not root for them.
I root for the Bills. I absolutely root for the Bills. I just think I got to think with my head, not my heart, Rock, because I think it's opening game.
Do your glasses come off or you stay
no,
on?
No, absolutely not, man. I got to think it's the Rams, the world champs. You got Matthew Stafford, Aaron Donald. You sit there and go, okay, the Bills, they're on the road. Yeah, they got a good team, and they'll probably win the AFC. But these Rams teams are going to be jacked up. And I got some, just in case Bryce Perkins sneaks in that game, he's on the 53-man roster, the third-string quarterback for the Rams. I've trained forever. Little loyalty there, too. But I think just since it's at SoFi, got to go with the home team. They're a home dog, -2.5.
They are.
Supposed to be a pick 'em. But, I got to go Rams with all of the hype that'll be going on at SoFi.
I asked one simple question, and 10 minutes later, I finally get an answer.
I'd say
Should have asked me. I would have given it.
Why
to
you going with the
in
Rams?
10 seconds.
No.
It's
Cup
analyst because
play-by-play.
Because of
See
Cooper
that?
Cup.
And I'd much rather go to the play-by-play guy.
there you go.
You get what you need.
No, you get
so much minutia.
That's it.
As the color analyst.
Yes.
See that? He caught on.
I know. Manuch,
But I'm the listener. I'm the fan. I should be able to say what I want. I get what I want.
Should we add minutia to the dictionary,
1
too?
minute.
Minutia? That would be the whole time.
golly.
Hey, tomorrow, Sean Salisbury join us. Coach Donnan, Jim Donnan will join us.
Yes,
That's
my
right, sir.
favorite.
And we'll get Kevin Rowe, K-Rowe, the Pick'em, the Learning Row picks starting tomorrow.
Yeah.
Get all that going,
For
too.
some gift cards, win some Visa cards, which are always nice. So, we'll have some fun with that. So, that's all coming up tomorrow. We'll be at Wright Toyota, right on the corner, right on the price. Again, text Peaks to 55678. This is when Ben usually plays music that we're on our way out because we can't hear it. We can't hear it at all. There it is.
There it is. Let's go, man.
Got it. I mean, get you in the mood for today.
Absolutely. I'm jacked up. I'm ready to hit anybody.
I'm ready for some football.
Yeah. You got a little hamburger drill there, Jax?
Pizza and wings tonight, Manuch?
Oh, yeah. I get some pizza and wings.
We're at Twin Peaks. Forget, you're going to order food from here.
10 seconds.
Absolutely.
And you're going to get something to go, and you're going to get it for your wife, and you're going to get it for your cat. He's going to order so much food.
Pickle juice.
Dessert.
Pickle juice for Manuch.
Hi, buddy. Let me
Sports
do a quick
910 traffic.